Thank you to Elizabeth for that kind introduction and everything you do here at the UN Foundation. I would also, of course, like to acknowledge Kathy Calvin, the President and CEO, for your extraordinary leadership, everything you do each and every day for so many millions of people around the world. You've both been champions for the inclusion of girls and women in your work, and for that, on behalf of both the President and First Lady, I want to express their gratitude. So how about a round of applause for their leadership? And what better way for us to celebrate the International Women's Day? I am really delighted to be here with you, just delighted. And I want to begin with a quote from the President that just was issued shortly before I came over here in his proclamation, where he said, "We recommit ourselves to achieve a world in which every woman and girl enjoys the full range of rights and freedoms that is her birthright." What do you say? You agree with that? And the Sustainable Development Goals are a critical next step that we believe will build on the Millennium Development Goals and assure that we accelerate progress in regions and countries around the world that we know are lagging behind. The commitment of global leaders to protect the human rights, promote gender equality, and empowering women and girls ensures a brighter future for all of our nations. As President Obama has also said, without the presence and participation of women in our classrooms, our workplaces, and communities, our nation can never realize its full potential. And a world in which girls are created without education and a safer, more stable, and more prosperous place will not thrive. Since day one, President Obama has been guided by a basic principle that every child should be ensured the opportunity to pursue his or her dreams, regardless of gender, race, sexual orientation or gender identity, family income, or any other factor. Prioritizing the expansion of opportunities for women and girls has been central to that work. And as you heard, it's hard to believe that it's 7 years ago this week the President created the White House Council on Women and Girls. Sometimes it seems like yesterday because I remember the event so well. There's a photograph in my office of that day. We joke about the President's gray hair. My gray hair is not that funny. I have considerably more today than I had on that day. But we have engaged over the last 7 years every single federal agency and department with the goal of ensuring that in all of our programs, in all of our policies, in all of the legislation we support, women and girls are central in that agenda. We've led by example by ensuring that the needs and aspirations of women and girls are given full consideration throughout the federal government, and we've encouraged a diverse and broad range of stakeholders, from the business community to state and local government to philanthropists and civil society and world leaders, all to join us in this effort. We often say that when women succeed, America succeeds and the world succeeds. In this globally competitive marketplace, nations will only be able to develop strong and stable communities if every one of their citizens has the opportunity to reach his or her full potential. Of course, that can only happen if every voice is heard. And as we all know, in far too many countries around the world, girls' voices are silenced or stifled, and they're held back from achieving their potential because they're barred from attending school. And that's also why we're here today, to talk about the importance of empowering women and girls in all aspects of our society. I know you share my excitement about the new development goals, the 2030 Agenda, including the specific goal on gender equality. It recognizes that women and girls have to be treated equally, and when they are empowered, we can make progress with each of our goals. It recognizes that we can't achieve the future we seek around the world if half of our citizens are held back from achieving their full potential. I often say that talent is ubiquitous, but opportunity is not. And that's true in America, and it's certainly true around the world, where 62 million girls, most of them adolescents, are not in school. 62 million girls. These girls have fewer economic opportunities. They're more vulnerable to HIV/AIDS, early and forced marriage, and violence. We all know that education changes all of that. When girls attend a good school, well, of course, they're more likely to earn a decent living, raise a healthy and educated family, and improve the quality of life for the girls, for their families, and their communities. And the longer girls stay in school, the better the outcomes. When girls attend secondary school, they're more likely to marry and have children later in life. They experience lower maternal and infant mortality rates, have fewer children, are less likely to contact HIV/AIDS. And in fact, the World Bank just recently did a study where they showed that every year of secondary school education is correlated with 18% increase in a girl's future earning power. Every year, an 18% increase. So that's why the President and First Lady launched Let Girls Learn, a whole-of-government effort that will build on our investment and success to expand global primary school education for adolescent girls. And it's why just a couple of hours ago, so you're getting information just like hot off the press, the First Lady announced several new private sector commitments to help send those 62 million girls to school. These commitments range from creating products to sell to benefit the Let Girls Learn Fund at the Peace Corps, to direct donations, to creating awareness-raising programs around the globe. Iconic companies such as Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, JetBlue, and Starwood Hotels, among many others, have made commitments to this cause. We're proud to partner with them, and we look forward to partnering with all of you, too. We must never lose sight of the stark realities that so many girls face around the world that is holding them back from achieving their dreams. Realities like a girl being forced to marry a man twice her age, or a girl whose parents decide it's worth more for her to stay at home than to afford to send her to school, or girls who are forced to drop out of school after starting their periods because they simply don't have access to the appropriate sanitary facilities at their schools, or girls who cannot walk to school for fear of violence. As the First Lady has said many times about Let Girls Learn, and I quote, "I see myself in these girls. I see our daughters in these girls, and like all of you, I can't just walk away from them. Like you, I can't just sit back and accept the barriers that keep them from realizing their potential." Then I think about my own childhood and how fortunate I was. I had two parents who loved me unconditionally and gave me all the support in the world. They afforded me the best education that money could buy, and without their unwavering support, of course I wouldn't be here in front of you today. I tried to create those same opportunities for my daughter, but we know that there are so many girls around the world that don't have nearly those opportunities. So when we engage girls around the world, we give them permission to see the infinite possibilities for which they should strive, and we provide them with the tools that they need to reach their dreams. We have the capacity to empower them to believe that they can do and be whatever they want. And we're role models with a responsibility to help all of our girls achieve their dreams and knock down the barriers that are in their way. I met Malala Yousafzai in 2013 when she visited the President and the First Lady in the Oval Office. I was so impressed with her soft-spoken yet fierce, and I mean fierce, determination and conviction that she expressed when describing in the simplest, most basic terms why she has been so prepared to sacrifice her safety for the fight for all girls to have educational opportunities. I deeply respect her awesome courage, but you know what? She needs and deserves our help. So I want to thank everyone in this room for doing everything you can to, in the words of Malala, make every young girl's dream tomorrow's reality. So let's celebrate our International Women's Day, but let's recognize that that celebration also carries with it a responsibility to carry forward. Thank you all very much.